Afternoon, people. What is happening? Hope we are all good. Buenos Aires is dancing, and rightly so. I think everyone is dancing today. The energy, the vibes, everyone is absolutely buzzing. And you know what? I've seen a lot of things in the press about people over celebrating, etc. I think we can let a few people off this one because this one's been a long time coming, and it was against Spurs. And you have to live in the moment. So you know what? If you've if you're one of those people who people have said you've over celebrated, then you know what? It's just because they're not celebrating. That's all you got to say. I'm enjoying the moment. That's what you've got to do. Afternoon, each and every one of you. It's been a great weekend, I hope it is a great start to the beginning of the week. Craig is in. He's put chicken, got roasted with some hot sauce. It's Nando style. Josh, he's put big up Fran. Win at the weekend. Started to see Arsenal back. Was very good. Buenos Aires. Fran, this morning he wore his Arsenal top to feed the animals. Then he went to the chickens and roosted. They all ran away from me. They knew who the king was. They knew who the king was, mate. Craig's always put those spuds got mashed up real quick. Harry Payne looks like he's lost in that you know what team. This is Luca's life. He's put, hey, what's happening? I just subbed to you. Really do appreciate it. Another sub. Love the support from everyone in the house. Munzie's coming. Arthur Guna is saying, well, hey, people, what's going on? And Brighton's going to be hard. Yes, it is. This is Luca's life. I fully think it's going to be, and we will get to that later on. But first of all, and Alan, as always, great support always comes in. I know he's busy working because of the different time zones, but always makes my day when everyone comes in the chat. Really do appreciate it. So come on, let's just enjoy the moment. Let's just sit down and enjoy the moment. And if you watch the other channel, Green Mind, you know that I do tap my time out to have a tea. And I brought one here for you. There's not much left, but I brought one here for lemongrass and ginger. So we'll enjoy the moment. Got to enjoy that moment. Let's be honest, people. So let's just start with the game. Let's start with the game. At the beginning of the game, we all seen Xhaka's name, and we all thought, what is going on? It's the only name on a team sheet, and we all thought, what is going on? How is he bringing Xhaka back in? The magnitude of this game, how is that possible? And I could only get to the conclusion that he was playing him because he's played in these games before. He knows the importance of these games. Yes, it does look like chicken stock. Someone said it the other day. It's just lemon and grass, lemongrass and ginger. It does look like chicken stock. And I could only think when it came to Xhaka that he's putting him in because of, one, his experience in this game. Two, is he going to put Lokonga in there with Partey in such a big game? I'm not sure. And that's the only thing that I could think. But it worked out all right. Was he great? No, he was a little bit better than average. But the fact of the matter is, it still worked. He put his neck on the line, Arteta did. I'm all about taking risks. And he took one there for me by putting his neck on the line, by putting Xhaka back in. And it did complement, it did massively complement Partey at the side of him. Chris has got a hangover. Munzie's saying, it looks like the sample. Jackie saying, afternoon, Fran. Hope all is well. Hope you are. And GB's coming in as well. Seen him on the stream earlier. Afternoon, Fran. Afternoon all. So nice at work and around the place this morning. Lots of Spurs, Chelsea, and Man Boo fans. Nowhere to be found. Not even in WhatsApp chat groups. Yeah, it is funny how things change. So I look at football very different, probably from a lot of fans. I'm still passionate, but I try and try and give a balanced way. And sometimes I think when you've played for so long, you do have a different look. So when I watch some of these fan channels and people are abusing each other before the games, like sometimes I think, wow, there's so much delusion going on, but try not to abuse people before the game kind of happens because you're just setting yourself up. And I see it all the time. People getting this set yourself up. It's unbelievable. Jansen's putting his book. Good afternoon, Fran, and everyone in the chat. Really do appreciate it. So Munzie's also saying, I'm a United fan and he's still here. Yeah, you see, United, listen, at the end of the day, I said it on the Premier League review earlier, Villa were just better and United should have probably scored the penalty. This talk all about Ronaldo should have took the penalty is a disrespect and very unprofessional, and that cannot happen in that dressing room. If that was to happen, not only has it undermined Ollie for the second time, the other players will not like that stance. So if he would have took that penalty when Bruno wanted it, you've had a bigger problem than that just being scored or missed. Believe me. Barbados coming in top of the morning, and Buenos Aires is saying Tomiyasu has sun in his pocket, man's on a leash. Yeah, so let's talk about it. He should have took the penalty. Nah, you can't take the penalty, mate. Ronaldo can't take the penalty. It completely changes the dynamics of that changing room if Ronaldo takes that penalty. Believe me. So, like you're saying, that guy D's coming as well. Big up yourself as well. So with Xhaka, that was my thing with Xhaka. Came in, I could only feel why that's what he was playing in. So the game starts. I've got to be honest, I was quietly confident that we would get something from this game. I did mention a draw. No, I went for a 2-1 Arsenal. So I was quite confident. And the reason I was confident is because we've got a little bit of momentum, and Spurs are a little bit all over the place because what's happened with Harry Kane, obviously, and they don't look like they're gelling at the moment. You can see there's unrest in that team and a lot of unhappy people in that team. And I don't think it's down to Nuno, which he's the one who's going to get the wrath. I think it's just the way Daniel Levy and this club is at the moment. But we will take as much joy as possible from that. Now, game starts. Saka and ESR are in this team for energy. And it drives me mad when these two youngsters do not show energy. And we've not seen that this season. I was saying, should we protect Saka? This is clearly what he needed. He needed a challenge. He needed to be told, you need to step up. And this was the perfect game for him. And that's exactly what they did. And from the first minute, they shown what I drum all the time. You know what I'm about on this channel. You know I'm a little bit harsh on Pepe, but I always drum. And what do I always drum? Show me enthusiasm, work rate, and hunger. That's all I want, and the rest is a bonus. And that's exactly what we got from the first minute of this game. I won't say till the 90th minute, because I don't think they needed to do it till the 90th minute. I think the first half, the game was dead and done. And Spurs just decided that they're not going to concede anymore rather than try and attack us. So the game second half was quite dire. It was easily managed. Because we did the damage in the first half. I mean, Spurs didn't look like nothing for the whole game. And we wanted it more. We understood that this derby is huge. We had youth in the team. We had enthusiasm, willingness, and every single player went out there and believed in what they were asked to do by Arteta. We must not forget that Arteta picked this team, and Arteta got this team playing like that. So we have to give credit where credit is due. Have to, because you know I'm not about if we lose, it's Arteta's fault, and if we win, it's the players. No. If we lose, okay, it's Arteta and the players, and if we win, it's Arteta and the players. It's only fair that we do it in that way. So let me have a look at a few of the comments before I then elaborate on, obviously, the style of play, etc. I think Munzi and GB are having it. Talks have Nasser located the ball from Bruno's pen, or is it still orbiting Earth? There's going to be some banter in there. Munzi's still trying to find it, mate. I can't believe anyone's sky a penalty. It's easy. It's gone for power. I don't know why Bruno changed his name. Franny would have scored that penalty all day long. Yeah, I'd have slotted that in, even though I weren't great at pens. Arsenal's second goal was Arsenal at its best. Perfect. Fast, dynamic, one-touch football goal. And Nguna's come in the chat. Big support as always. But Elon Musk has Bruno to help space law check satellites as witnessing his penalty on Saturday. And Josh has put his game 10 out of 10 for Arteta. I mean, listen, you have got to be world beater for me to give you a 10 out of 10. So I gave him a 9. No one got a 10 out of 10 for me. That's like the creme de la creme. Tony C's put, it's been a while since we showed that sort of energy. Great to see. It was great to see. But he has been getting a 10 out of 10. Listen, the energy, that leads me on to the energy-related performance. That's what it was from the first minute. High press. I don't know if you watched Man City. I was raving about the way Man City high-pressed against Chelsea. And when we press high, Arsenal, and its tempo, we win games. We can't play any other way. We can't play the slow, and then it has to be 100 miles an hour all the time. Don't overcomplicate it. Tell the youth to stay high and press. Erdegaard's pressing was an absolute joke. He was lightweight a couple of times. That's just the way he is. He's not all of a sudden just going to get Weetabix strength. He gave the ball away a couple of times in, I thought, which could have been costly areas. But overall game, the press He pressed. He started to press every single time. It was unbelievable. I watched over the game again. It was unbelievable performance from each and every one of the players. The togetherness. You've seen a togetherness. That comes from the management. As much as people are Arteta in or Arteta out, the togetherness came from the management. He believes in what these players can do, and they've now started to believe. Now, people will say, but Frank, relax. It's only 3 games. I get that. But what I'm saying is, okay, improvement is improvement. Progress is progress. Okay? We must all agree on that. And each game, the last 3 games, we have got better and better, which then says to me that is progress. So we can only go off what we see. If we get bopped by Brighton, which Brighton are a good team, yes, I won't be straight on here saying, oh, it's a shambles, blah, 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 but we will have to pick the points out and say, right then, well, that game was okay. This game was obviously not the way it needed to be. And we'll talk about Brighton towards the end when we do player ratings, etc., things like that. So the belief, the energy, the togetherness, the willingness, the importance of this game, and the fans back in, it looks like they've won a lot of fans over, including most of us in the chat for now. It looks like it's clicking. It looks like it's clicking. And Janssen makes a very good point here. We saw a style of play yesterday. We saw a style of play, and it was high press, move the ball quickly, press high, get in behind down the sides. We were playing out from the back. Ramsdale on our second goal. I think it's a free kick to Spurs. I'm not going to start beating the drum and say Spurs should have got a free kick. Xhaka gives a free kick on Holberg behind the back of his knee. Ramsdale, as he passed the ball, I was like, oh my God, what's he doing? And then we've got away with it. But at the end of the day, we've got to take risks. We took the risk. And then before you know it, 3 seconds later, Aubameyang puts the ball in the back of the net. But we saw a style of play. Brighton is a huge test. It is a definitely huge test. Potter has them on fine form. I like Potter a lot. GB's put, it's a special day. Today is one of the examples where we want to do what we want to do, but we have to be consistent. Arteta said after the win yesterday, in other words, trust the process. And listen, it always is a process, isn't it? Ødegaard was like a man possessed with his pressing. Yeah, he's not quick. Ødegaard is not quick at all, but he just said, you know what? I need to win these doubters over, because there's a lot of doubters about players in our Arsenal team. And the way you win people over is by hard work, enthusiasm, and passion, especially in football. You know what it's like. Some players are terrible, but if they put their all in, managers love them. Remember Robbie Savage? Managers and fans loved him because he used to be passionate every time that he went on a football pitch. Jack's put, we still were most dangerous on counters, just like Arteta first joined and had success in the FA Cup. I think that as much as Arteta wants to play out from the back, okay? Sorry. As much as Arteta wants to play out from the back, I think we need to do it with pace. And like you say, we're better at counter-attacking. That's where Aubameyang's going to get space. That's where Saka's going to get space. That's where ESR's going to get space. That's where Ødegaard's going to get space on the counter. We've got a lot of room. So I don't mind being a counter-attacking team at this stage in Arteta's reign. I really don't. If we play like that, if we play like that. Josh Bombers put Ramsdale, Arteta signing, so it's Tomiyasu. I'm starting to give Arteta a little chance now. Sino has also done well in the last 4 games. Listen, people will say, yeah, but you're only changing now because of playing well. Well, you can only change when someone's doing well. Now, the ignorant or the arrogant people will just, no matter what Arteta does, they will always pick out problems just because they don't like him and they don't want it at the club. For me, those people need to look at themselves and say, you know what? I'm not just going to change with the wind, but you have to give credit where credit is due. And the last 3 or 4 games have been good. So we have to give credit, and we can see some type of progress. And yesterday topped it off completely. Were Spurs great? No. This is a bang average Spurs team who at the moment are disconnected and disjointed and not really, and got players that don't want to be there. But it doesn't matter. We still have to perform and still have to put that energy in for things to happen, for things to happen. So we spoke about the energy. We spoke about wanting it more, the togetherness, the belief in Arteta. The players have now got a belief, etc. And then the final one of how we play, flow. There's a thing of a few of you probably follow psychology in it. There's a thing called flow where literally the stars just aligned and everything just works. Your energy levels are great. Your first touch is great. Things drop for you. The crowd are great. The timing of the goals are great. Everything. You just get this feeling of flow. You don't know what it is. It just overtakes you. You would have had it at work. You may have had it in a relationship, but it's called flow. And we had that. Everything that could have gone right for us went right for us. And that's because we worked hard, pressed high, and had belief in what we were trying to do. And that's why the flow worked. And we could still be playing now, and Spurs would not be back in this game because we had that magic secret of flow. And it's good to have in sports. It's really, really good to have in the sports. Let me just have a couple of a look at the comments before we then go on to player ratings, people. Player ratings, eh? Tony's, it's been a while, showed great energy. Janssens, Udegaard's pressed so much he don't need an iron. And then Goon has put, bear in mind, we did the same thing last season when we played Spurs at the Emirates. And after that, we reverted to slow, tippy-tappy, false nine settings. And this could be an issue, by the way. This could be an issue. The whole back line was a tank. And rightly so, they were magnificent. Energy, Bright, and GB's put the starting 11 yesterday was 6 Arteta signings and 5 plus who signed new deals under Arteta. It's his team now. Should they stay fit, we get a proper judge Arteta on what may come. Well, he said that. He judged him on his team. He has always said, judge me on my team. These are his players. If not, they've re-signed new contracts. So we have to. And that's probably, would you say that was probably his strongest team? I think that's his strongest team now. So it's interesting. Right, player ratings. Let's go through the player ratings. What's this? Kane of 2 years ago, and they would have got back. Yeah, listen. Let's just talk quickly about Harry Kane, okay? Harry Kane has been kept at a club against his will, does not want to be there, has no interest, okay, in being at that football club. And they've mistreated him. As a human, if you're at work, if your boss tells you X, Y, Z, they go against their word. Are you going to still get in before everyone else? Are you still going to put those extra hours in? Are you still going to get that final deal done, or make sure that that final bit of work is clean and 100%? You're not. And they've got a problem now. I actually feel sorry for Nuno because he's now gone into a job where he probably is thinking it would have been better for him to get rid of Kane for him to build his team, because now he's got to play Kane. Kane don't want to be there. His attitude gets infectious through the dressing rooms, and everyone else just jumps on the same bandwagon. Now, if that was another player, by the way, with Kane's performance, if that was another player, yeah, they'd be all over the newspaper. I have no idea why he gets so... Well, I do, actually. It's politics and society and newspapers and media. But it's wrong that he gets protected the way that he does. I think it's wrong, you know. I really do. But hey, it is what it is. He's not an Arsenal player. And yesterday he had a terrible game. Preach, fan, regardless of the manager or the players, I want Arsenal to be on the right track. I want to eat humble pie and be proven wrong. Let's build on this one game at a time. I want to be proven wrong. When I say something about Arteta or this team, even Pepe, I want you to prove me wrong because that benefits me as a supporter. I thought Tanganga, Sanchez, and Kane were fantastic. Dele Alli for MOM. They were poor. They didn't have one. Son was the only one who wanted to run around a little bit. And because they couldn't get the ball to him, it was quite easy for the lads at the back. But they had to put the effort in and the energy. You know, they had to do that. How else? Because if they didn't do that energy, I can tell you what, if they didn't do that energy, then all of a sudden we'll be talking about, all of a sudden we'll be talking about, oh, they're poor. Arsenal didn't do this. Arsenal didn't do that. Why this, why that? So you've got to put the energy in. You know, you've got to put the energy in. Let's have a look. Curved glasses have just popped in now, friend. I remember you saying Ødegaard is our best player months ago. No, Ødegaard is our most creative player and is our best player, right? I don't know why people can't see it. But it's all about opinions. I've always said I'm not right or wrong. He's just my type of player. He's my type of player. And if he gets on the ball, he's outstanding. His intelligence is outstanding. And like I say, what I wanted him to see, I wanted to see that other side to him. And that's exactly what we got. We got the other side to him, and fair play to him. Fair play to him. Tottenham got battered everywhere. There you go. Right, let's have a look at this one. Let's have a look. Here we go. Here we go, peeps. Here we go. Let's go through the team then, because I'm interested to what you say. I've already nipped on Curtis's earlier. So let's go. Can we fit everyone? Boom. We can fit everyone on. We can fit everyone on. Right then, people. Ramsdale. Big up yourself, Josh. Ramsdale. What are we saying about Ramsdale? Let's get rid of this up here. That don't need to be on there. What are we saying about Ramsdale, people? Ramsdale. I don't think he had a lot to do, but when he was called upon, he did solid. And he starts the move. That's why I brought him in. He starts the move for the second goal. If he doesn't do that, we don't score the second goal. Couldn't really do much about the game. Did get a hand to it. Couldn't really do much else. I'm going to give him an 8 because he didn't really have to do any spectacular saves. The one towards the end where it's got a deflection, he's gone with the wrong hand. It's very hard to go with your wrong hand. And he's managed to tip it onto the crossbar, which was magnificent. And what I like about him, Fran, your teeth are extra white today. Special occasion for a wider smile. I don't know why. Listen, I don't know why. I've not done anything different. Maybe the red behind me and the lights that I have in front of me give a different shadow of my teeth. I'm not too sure why they're so white today. Maybe it's just the camera. No idea. So where are we? We'll just look at a couple of comments. Fred, the extra team. He kept back for calm. That's what I like about him, Ramsdale. He's keeping everyone calm. And then when he makes a save or someone makes a tackle, he gets up, he beats his chest. He's in front of people's faces. He wants to win. And that goes a long way with me. That goes a very, very long way with me. When you're showing me that you want to win, I think that's what we've been missing. And I seen that on Saturday. I seen it. We've got to take it into the next game. It's all right playing that game. I mean, anyone can get up for that. Anyone can get up for that game. Anyone. But it's the next game. It's the next game that will tell you where we are actually at. Janssen saying, has amazing vision. He sees things others don't. Great way to pass. He's unbelievable. I think Janssen's unbelievable as well for being in the chat. But I think Ødegaard is unbelievable. And people will question me, you know, why didn't he play at Real Madrid? Not many people do. Why didn't someone else want him? Blah, blah, blah. I think he can only play for a proper tick-attacker team. And that's what Arteta wants him to do. So, you know, rather than everyone saying, why didn't this happen? Why didn't that happen? Fact of the matter is, we've got him at 30 million. Willock went for 25 million. Now that looks like the biggest bargain in world football. So we've gone for an 8, a 9. Ramsdale's passion is unreal. Good talking, fast to react, takes responsibility, takes pride in his work, good save and distribution. Terence is saying, fully agree. Absolutely fully agree. So I'm going to give him an 8. I think if he had a few more chances to save, then I would have gave him a 9. But he starts the second goal off. Without that pass, we don't score that second goal. So we will see. Tomiyasu. Come on, people. Ginger and lemongrass first. Tomiyasu has come in under the disrespect of Sky or BBC and fans and opposition fans and all this stuff, not knowing who he is, like not knowing. So I was first to admit I didn't really know much about him. I had a look at a couple of things on YouTube. Everyone looks great on YouTube, but I didn't know much about him. So I thought, you've got to give him an opportunity. But you got all these other fans saying they watch Bologna all year, and he's this, and he's that, and he's terrible, and he's that. And you're like, listen, absolute waffle settings. Stop lying. You didn't know who he was. He's come in, and we've given him a chance. And what I like about Tomiyasu, right, he's going to get beat sometimes, but he's a 7 or a 7.5 in every single area of his game. And that's what I want. Because I know I'm going to get 8s, I'm going to get 9s. Very rare am I going to get a 5 or a 6. Because 1, wants to win. 2, honesty, up and down. 3, sees his man as a challenge. You're not getting the best of me. 4, can head a ball. 5, broad shoulders. 6, can get forward. 7, decent on the ball. Because he's a standard of everything, a jack of all trades at right back. And I think he was outstanding. Didn't have a lot to do. Let's be honest, he didn't have a lot to do, but they kept the shape. They believed in what they were doing. And I'm going to give Tomiyasu, I forgot what I gave him earlier. I can't remember. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give Tomiyasu an 8. So I've gone 8, 8. Ben White, 37 in the chat. Make sure you hit the like. Love the support on a Monday, and I hope everyone is feeling very, very blessed. And you've got a little jiggy in your step for the beginning of the week. I did put another video on Green Mind, the other channel. I'll just put it in the chat for you if you've not seen that channel. Oh, here we are. Look, I'll get it on here for you. Here we are. Let's get it on here, peeps. Put this in the chat for you. Here we are. And here we go, people. Here we go, people. Because it's helping quite a lot of people, by the way. Just having a little chat. It's helping quite a lot of people. Go and check that channel out. New video is up just about the week. What did I talk about? I spoke about staying calm. That's what I spoke about. Just staying calm, because this weekend's been crazy with the petrol and everything, and people are losing the mind. So, White. I don't think White was as good as Tomiyasu or Ramsdale or Gabby, okay? But he did well. First, at the beginning, he was a little bit shaky. He tried to nick the ball a few times. It's very easy for centre-halves when they've only got one to deal with. They only had Kane. So one can go in with Kane, one can round off, vice versa. Kane tried to go on White and get a little bit of joy. It wasn't happening because Gabby and White were very, very comfortable. White was very good on the ball. We've seen how good he was playing out with the ball. Didn't have loads to do, but I thought it was a very good performance. So I'm going to give him a 7. Going to give him a 7 because he got caught out of position a few times for me, but that's just being negative. So 7, 7.5. I'll give him a 7. Don't want to be too harsh on him. Just a couple of things that I thought he could have been better, and especially if I'm going to score Tomiyasu and Ramsdale as an 8, I think it's only right that I give White a 7. Gabby, my man of the match. He was my man of the match. And some of you would say, oh my God, Strikers Union. Fran has gave a defender man of the match. What about all the other players? What about ESR, Saka, Aubameyang, Ødegaard? This performance does not happen if your foundations are not solid. That's the key. He was absolutely immense for me. Now, Brandon's saying a 10. I will only give Messi a 10. All right. So that's not happening. Right. He was absolutely outstanding. Now, again, he only had one to deal with for 2. But every single thing that Gabby was asked to do in this game, he did it. He did it with 100% effort, controllability, everything. I thought it was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. He was a brick for me. He was a leader. What it looks like to me is it looks like Arteta has told him, you're my number 1 centre-off. You are potentially the next captain of this football club. If in fact, he is the next captain of this football club. You can go down in folklore history and be a Sol Campbell and be a Tony Adams and be a Martin Keown. You've just got to take responsibility. And it looks like he's taken that responsibility with open arms. And that game yesterday, and he looks very good since he's come back. He needs to get better with the ball, even though he was exceptional on with the ball. He needs to get better in certain games. But I thought he was absolutely outstanding. GB is saying our front three click, Party runs the midfield, and Fran give MOM to Gabriel the Seabird. Come on, man. No, listen, I get where you're coming from. And I'm a striker. You would think I would say Strikers Union. But it don't work without Gabby's defending. None of that, what you've said, works. Because you go a goal down, or 2 goes down, or 3 goes down. You got to remember, he's dealing with, yes, an off-day Harry Kane, but without the defense and without Gabby doing his role, Partey, front 3, don't get the opportunity to do that. That's why I'm giving it to Gabby. But I understand your point. Of course, we had some outstanding performances, but everything for me is built with foundations. If Gabby and White are poor, we don't win that game, regardless of what Aubameyang, Saka, and Partey do. If White and Gabby are poor, we don't win that game. So that's why I've given it to Gabby. So, but I get where you're coming from. Of course, I get where you're coming from. Tierney. I thought Tierney was okay. I didn't think Tierney was great. He didn't have a lot to do. People say Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura was not hardly touched the ball, kept coming inside. But obviously I can't give him a low score. But out of the back four, he was the least impressive for me. Tierney was, my opinion. So I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7. I think it's harsh to give him a 6.5. So I wanted to give him a 6.5 because I thought White was a little bit better and White was a 7. So but I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give him a 7 because I thought, again, foundations wise, it doesn't really work without the players doing what they're doing. You need a foundation for the rest of the players to go on to do what they want to do. So a few people are saying, obviously, well, Gabby was a 9, a 10, an 11 for me. I mean, I've never seen 11 in world. I have seen 11 in world football. Maradona and Messi. Well, I've never seen an 11 since. So, like you say, I think the lads at the back did really well. I think Tierney was not as good as the other lads at the back, but I still think he did well. Of course, we just beat Spurs 3-0. I still think that he did well. We then go on to Partey. Partey was absolutely outstanding. The only reason I won't give him as high a score as obviously Gabby, because I gave Gabby the man in the match, so I'll just give him a little bit lower. But he was outstanding. He was outstanding. We've seen the Partey what we thought we were signing yesterday. Now, we've seen it before, and then the next game has been atrocious. So, I'm not getting ahead of myself. When he's fit, when he's on song, he's unreal. The problem is he needs to be on song more often, because that's what makes you a great player rather than a very good player. He's a very, very good player, but he needs to be a great player. He needs to do more week in, week out. So, Curved Glass, I don't mark players because I did not see the game. I was with Fran's stream. Okay, yeah, listen. Like I say, I think that most channels are probably giving people around about the same scores. Boy 10 has gone. Partey gets in the 11 again, ran the whole thing. He's gone for 11. I'm going to give him 8.5 because he was good. Didn't have loads to do, but he was very, very good. But I can't give him more than, obviously, what I've gave Gabby for man of the match. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. Some would say, Fran, that's a bit harsh. But, we've all got different standards on our scalability of what's average, what's not average, etc. So I want to see Partey do it more often. Obviously, I don't want to see him get injured. And then we will start to see the player that we thought that we signed. But he was outstanding. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. 8.7, Terence is saying, you know what I'm saying, a little bit sneaky one to just under Gabby's. And it's hard for me because I gave Gabby a 9 and I thought he was man of the match. So I've got to make sure my other scores are right. I can still give someone else a 9, but, not a high 9, the lower 9. Xhaka. Listen, people. He came in. He did a job. He kept it assured. He didn't have loads to do. That midfield was not great of Spurs, which surprised me because on paper, very, 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 very good midfield, but Ndombele, they looked good, but they were poor. I'm going to give Xhaka a 7. Reason I'm going to give him a 7 is because he's still got to do a shift. A lot of pressure was on him. A lot of people were on his back, but I don't think he was outstanding. He was one of those. He was in there and he did a job to keep the building secure. That brick, that off-color brick that you still need. He for me was about a 7. Like you say, I thought he did well. He put himself around the pitch. He was leading. He was shouting. He was communicating. And I think his role was very an unselfish role, and it helped other players maybe express themselves a little bit more. So I'm going to give him a 7. We then get up to where all the limelight is on. And I was going to say deservedly so, but not deservedly so, because I think other players were just as good. However, limelight always goes to attackers. I remember when I was a striker, Strikers Union. The limelight always goes to them because they're the ones that get the goals or create the chances, etc., etc., etc. And the other unsung heroes are sometimes forgotten about. So Ødegaard for me. Watch the game over again. He's my favorite player. He's my favorite player in Arsenal's team. His pressing is off the ball. He was a little bit lightweight on a couple of occasions, but I'm not going to give a man downgrade because he's not physically bigger than everyone else. That's like me giving Akin Fenwa a 10 every week just because he's strong. But I thought it was fantastic. And even if you don't like Ødegaard, you've got to be honest, he was fantastic. He pressed. He was in people's faces. He wanted the ball every time. He is the link. And people forget, and I've always said it, he is the link from front to back. He's the link because he's the only one in that area, and he's the only one capable of being that link. So I gave him a 9. I gave Partey 8.5. Did I give Partey? So I'm going to give Ødegaard, is it an 8 or an 8.5? I mean, his work rate and always on the ball was absolutely fantastic. I'm going to give him an 8.5. I'm going to give him an 8.5. Yeah. I think his role is obviously different from Partey's and Xhaka's, but it was outstanding. So Simon's coming. He's just dropped a like. He'll catch the show later. Big respect to yourself. Salman saying Xhaka did well, but he needed to be taken off after 60 minutes. Man was doing crazy fouls. Yep, true. They should have took him off. He did a job 7. And now we're going on to Ødegaard. 8 and 8.5. We're mixing before. Chris is obviously Thori saying 8. Arda Gunnar saying 8. Janssen 8. Craig 8.5. That guy D is saying 8. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. Thought it was magnificent. Even though he didn't get the ball as much as he would have liked for me, he was still magnificent. We're going to go on to Saka. Best performance of the season for nearly everyone. These are the performances that we've seen in an England shirt. We're not seen in an Arsenal shirt for quite a while. Obviously, we know he's not scored a goal for months, which he needs to score more this season. But this performance was fantastic. He's playing against Reguilon. He's not the best fullback, let's be honest. But I'm not going to start trying to pick holes. I thought it was outstanding. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. His energy, which I love. His willingness to take people on. He was sharp. He wanted to take risks. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. So I'm not going to give him, just because I gave Gabby a 9 and he's my man of the match, I then can't start saying 8.8, 8.8, 8.5s, whatever. I'm going to give him a 9 because I thought it was outstanding. And for most people, you know, a Saka, a Smith Rowe, and a Gabby and a Partey, you could pick a man of the match, even Aubameyang, out of any of those 5. So I'm going to give him a 9. Thought it was outstanding. Wanted to create, wanted to get up and down the pitch, wanted the fans to know that this game meant a lot, and he was outstanding. So, you know, fair play to him. Little bit of luck. Harry Kane had an absolute shocker, set him up, sliding in, thought he blocked it, and it fell to him nicely. But absolutely outstanding. Smith Rowe. Can't say much more than I can about Saka. I thought he was a little bit better, but I can't give him a bit of score. And the reason is he got involved in the way that they broke for the Aubameyang goal, and also his goal as well. Bad defending, but the fact of the matter is still got to drive in, still going to get in that area, and good play from Saka setting ESR up. So both, obviously, stats, goals, assists, whatever, but ESR, I'm going to give him, I thought it was slightly better, but I'm going to give him a 9 because I thought it was outstanding. That's the kind of performances we need to see more regular for him to be where people think he can be at and where he can go. 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 is not good enough. So we'll see how he goes against Brighton, and the next game it's going to be tough, but we'll see how they go. For me, you know what? I've said that we'll draw against Brighton, all right? I hope I'm wrong, but I've said that we'll draw. And if we do draw, okay, but the energy and the press and the willingness and the hunger is still there, I will not be complaining about anything. You know what? Even when we lose, if that is still there, because that means that the other team has outworked us and they've done better than us, and you can't ask for much more. That's what me. But when I don't see that, that's where I get angry. Josh is coming, and Josh is saying he's gone for... let me get that on the screen for you, Josh. Josh has gone Ramsdale 9, Turney 7, Gab 9, White 6, Tommy 8, Party 9, Xhaka 7, Ødegaard 6. I mean, you got to watch the game again. Ødegaard was outstanding. Saka 9, ESR 10. I'm never going to give anyone a 10. I'll tell you that. So Saka 9, Smith Rowe 9. And I'm going to give Aubameyang a 9 as well. And the reason I'm going to give Aubameyang a 9 is he led the line superbly. He caused chaos, albeit against not the best 2 centre-offs. Eric Dyer and Sanchez, not very good at all. but still has to put the move in, still has to create. And I think he led. Without him leading, the rest of the performances don't work. This is what I'm trying to break it down. So if Gabby's not solid and Ben White, if Gabby and Solly are not Ben White, the lads in the midfield can't do what they need to do, okay? But they are. So then the lads in the midfield can do what they need to do, which is their defensive responsibilities, which then trigger effect allows the lads up top to run themselves into the ground and create. So it's a ripple effect. It doesn't work unless that ripple effect works. I'm going to give Aubameyang a 9. And the reason I'm going to give him a 9, the celebration at the end took him from an 8.5 to a 9 because Henry was there. He did the Henry celebration. He looked hungry. It was in people's faces. He knew what it meant to the crowd. His work rate was phenomenal. And I'm going to give him a 9 because if I give him less than Saka and Smith Rowe, I think that would be harsh. So I'm going to give him a 9 on that one. Oh, yeah. And let's get on for Arteta. I mean, Terence is a little bit harsh. I can't be giving players all these marks and be giving Arteta a 6. I just can't do that. North London derby, pressure's on, puts Xhaka in, bit of nuts, puts Xhaka in, takes a risk there. And then I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8, all right? I'm going to give him an 8. And I would have gave him a 9 because you're thinking, what? Because at the end of the day, he's the boss of that team. And if that team performs, then he's the boss of that team. But I'm going to give him an 8. And you know I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he should have took Xhaka off a little bit earlier. And that's nitpicking, by the way. That's very, very, very nitpicking. So that's my reason why. Mishak has come up. Big up, Fran. Was a great birthday present this weekend. Happy birthday. I'm sure you had a great one, especially when everyone, you got the result. Jack is saying Arteta 9. Terence saying took Pepe out. Yeah, he took a risk. Tony C's put Arteta 8. Just thought he could have made a few substitutes. Yeah, that's what I think. Arteta 7. Chris is saying. Jansen is saying Arteta 9. Would have been a 10 if he made the subs earlier. Okay. Arteta's is 8.5. Arteta 7. 8. So we're in and around the mix. We're in and around that mix of obviously getting the right results. So I thought it was outstanding all the way through. Sorry, just someone's distracting me in the background. Sorry. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at a few comments now after we've gone through the player ratings. Anthony's saying Gabriel's still our best player. To be honest, big up Fran. He's our best defender. There's no doubt about that. He's the best defender. Best player, I'm not too sure. Someone's put, Fran, is it true Xhaka was fouling everyone and could have changed the game? His subs were slow. Listen, Xhaka did well, but he did give a couple of fouls away that he got away with. And I think we should have made substitutions a little bit earlier. Xhaka was on his last legs and it could have cost us. A couple of times I thought he was going to get a yellow and then we don't need that early in the game, but he got away with it. So if anything, but it paid off. Like I said, we was in flow. We were in flow. You can't stop anyone when they're in flow. Usyk the other night was in flow against Joshua. They could still be boxing now and Joshua would not be winning that fight. So once you get flow, it's a psychological thing. All the energy, the cells, the sugars, everything in your body just clicks and your brain just is boom, 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 like Limitless, the film. Your brain is just, there's nothing that can stop you. And we had that flow on Saturday. Other Gooners put, Pepe lacked aggression. Hope he realizes he's losing his place in the squad. And people have a go at me about Pepe, okay? Pepe does not do what Saka and ESR do yesterday. That's why he didn't play. And that's why I say, people are like, but Fran, oh, he's a good player. He is a good player. He's not the type of player that I want in my team, though. Because he doesn't press. He's not aggressive. He doesn't take people on. And I know some people say, oh, it's an agenda. It's agenda. It's just my type of player that I would like in my team. And he doesn't give me what I would like in my team. And that's why I don't rate him as a player for Arsenal. He's a player, of course, but not for Arsenal. All the way Arteta wants to play, in my opinion. In my opinion. That's only my opinion. Anyone know the extent of Xhaka's injury? I'm not sure. It's quite a bad one. It looked like he could have fractured the outside, you know, the outside of his leg. slight fracture. So I'm not sure. I agree, Fran. It's the harsh reality. It's just the reality. Listen, I've signed for teams, and then 1 week I've played, and then the next 3 or 4 games I've not played. And the manager said to me, it's because the opposition that we're playing, I need to play a certain way, and you don't play that way. Sometimes it's an excuse. Sometimes it's the facts, genetically or mindset, type of player that you are. You won't fit into the way a manager wants to play that week. It's just the way it is. And people say, Pepe this, Pepe that. Talented player, of course. So is Pogba. Talented player. I get all that. But when they don't do the other side of the game, what do you want? You just want to keep playing them and think, oh, well, he looks good on the eye, but he's not doing any work. That's my problem. And I would be exactly the same with Ødegaard, by the way. If Ødegaard was not doing the work off the ball, I would be exactly the same with him. And you'll see in the future, I'm very, very balanced. So try to be. I'll fight AJ next time. British Ruiz when he was still eating. Anthony Williams has put Arteta's target for the season has to be 5th. We have to admit the top 4 teams are clear of us, but we must finish above Leicester, Tottenham, and West Ham, especially with no Europe. Then I will believe. Listen, he should finish 5th. I said he'll finish 10th if we didn't get any momentum. And I'm at 8th if we get momentum. I've seen that we can see progression. Things can change very quickly. It's easy to get up for a game like Spurs. I fully understand that. But I see something. In the last 3 games, I have seen progress. I have seen a style of play. And that's all what fans wanted to see. And you've seen the fans in the ground now. The fans are going ecstatic, 50-odd thousand, going absolutely crazy or whatever it was. And they now believe. And that's what the players needed. They had a bad start, but it looks like we're starting to turn the corner. Well, we have started to turn the corner. The corner's a big corner. It ain't no short corner. Corners are big when it comes to changing things because it takes time. Things take time. So if we can continue this thing, who's to say in January we don't go out and spend big? We may do. And then that takes us and gives us another push because Arteta will have won over the Kroenkes with the project that he's obviously been pushing and the whole process. So then he has to build again. Pepe isn't up for the fight. I mean, it's obvious. If we add Basuma to that lineup, teams look solid. Then sell Pepe and add Sahar. We'll never get Sahar now. I think it's a little bit late. But if we got Basuma and one other, I think we need a striker. Get rid of Lacazette and get a striker who is a proper striker. Because sometimes you may have to go 2 up top, sometimes you whatever. And I think would be frightening. Or like you say, I mean, St. Maximum, how good would he be? How good would St. Maximum be in our team if you got Basuma as well? I'd go for those 2. That's what I'd do. Gunavel's spot. I think we should go for that 4th spot, Fran. United can miss out this year because United's luck has run out. This season will show how bad Ollie is. We must take advantage. Now, the thing is with United, United won't go on a bad run for long. I believe they'll sack Ollie. They'll go for a Conte. They'll go for a big name. They'll go for a Zidane or whatever. And they'll say, we're not messing around. There's another 200 million. We will get another manager in. And then all of a sudden, they will push and push and push. They can't afford to stay at the top 4. They've got a challenge. I think top 4 may be a little bit too far stretched for us. Don't get me wrong. I think we've got a chance. But it's very early doors in the season. We can't get ahead of ourselves. We've got to look at where we are in the next 2-3 months, etc., and take it from there. We can't get ahead of ourselves. Leno may go in January, so we need another keeper. What striker? I mean, it's hard when it comes to strikers who are going to come to Arsenal. So I'm not 100% sure. Don't want to rush that question, to be honest. Would you take Martial all day, every day? I think he's just not hit the heights at Man United, but he is a player. And what you will get for him is he will run around. He will run around. He just needs an arm around him and tell him, because you've seen how good he can be. So I would definitely take Martial. I'm not sure he would come. I think a Barca or someone like that would want him. I'd take St. Maximum all day. All day, St. Maximum. Top 6 is still being realistic. Yeah, I think top 6 is realistic. Definitely. I think top 6 is realistic. But we need to slow down of the type of player that we will get. We wouldn't get a Martial, I don't think, unless all of a sudden we start getting up the league. another club will go for him. I can't see him coming because he, on his day, and that's the problem with him at United on his day. I remember people were arguing about Jesse Lingard before he went to West Ham. I said, listen, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, well, he's finished. He's not playing there. No. He's just not playing there. Doesn't mean he's finished. And then he went West Ham and everyone's saying that. Look how good Jesse Lingard is. Gets back in the England squad. Should have gone to the Euros, the only one. Martial will be there. Martial will leave, right? And probably smash it somewhere else. He will give you more than Pepe. He'll give us more than Pepe. I would rather have a Saint Maximin, who's not a finished article, who's not polished, but will cause ridiculous amounts of problems. So I'd take any of them to a heartbeat. Listen, they're better than what we've got. They would add to what we've got, okay? Someone say, but Fran, better than Saka and better than ESR? Over the course of the season, Saint Maximin would be better than ESR out wide over the course of the season. In one-off games, ESR would be different. And the simple fact is, because ESR is not a natural out-and-out wide player. That's why, you know? So, you know, some like you say, some would take Martial, some wouldn't, etc., etc. It's football, it's opinions, like you say. It's one of those. But I just think Martial just needs that team that Man United's not worked for him. He came young, he got divorced, I believe, or split up, but all these things that happened off the pitch, and he's just not been able to get back in. He really hasn't just been able to get back in. West Ham, rumour starting Tony. Yeah, Tony will be gone at the end of this season. Ivan Tony, definitely be gone. January, Basuma. Martial's got bags of talent, but not for me, Fran, which I fully understand. I'm the same when it comes to Pepe, aren't I? Martial is far too moody. Is Maxim better than Sahar? That's a tough question. It's a tough question. Both very, very dangerous, but I think Maxim's got a little bit extra when it comes to tricks, but I think Sahar's outstanding as well. I'd take any of them. Yeah, he cheated on his missus and lost his head. He lost his head. And that, listen, when things off the field affect players on it takes them a very long time to recover. If ever. He's not getting games, so when he gets an opportunity, he doesn't score. You know, for me, he'll go and be outstanding somewhere else, unless he's not got over the fact that he's had to go through the breakup, you know, which is obviously hard on everyone. You just want to sign a player that suits the Prem, and Pepe doesn't suit the Prem. Yeah, listen, Pepe, it's the way the Premier League is very, very hot potato, I always call it. It's fast because the quality at times is poor. So both teams keep giving the ball away. Whereas foreign teams, the reason it's slow in a Spain, in a Portugal, and whatever, is because they keep the ball a lot better than English teams. So it's not 100 miles an hour at times. That's why. Do you know what I mean? So Pepe is definitely a foreign player. Fran, do you think Saint Maximin is an Arteta type player? Probably not. Probably not. I think he's a little bit too 100 miles an hour, isn't it? Yeah, I think Maximin is more skillful. Yeah, probably not. He's a Juve type player, Martial. Yeah, I think Martial would do well in Italy. I think he would. Definitely would do well, good in Italy. It's just not worked out for him. He came young, mad price tag, last minute move. He's had problems, temptations, you know, young girls, Manchester, party life. It's been tough for him. It's been very, very tough for him. If you ever go to Manchester, Manchester is one hell of a city, which is very, very hard when it comes to things like that to keep your head down. So, I mean, Lucas saying Martial's crap. He's not crap. You know, he's not crap. How can he say he's good? Maxim is good. He's not crap. That's for sure. You know, crap would be a crap player would be. It would be a crap player. Let's be honest. It would be a crap player. Joe Linton. That's a crap player. Who else? That level. Who's just terrible. Mapai. I don't think he's crap. I think crap's harsh. You know, they're playing top level football. You know, average, poor. But I think crap's maybe the wrong word. But I get your point. Right, people, 5 minutes to go. Everyone's buzzing. Everyone's absolutely buzzing. Walcock. I mean, even Walcock, he weren't crap, was he? You know, he weren't crap. You know, but Joe Linton, come on. That's crap. Like, that is crap. Like, yeah, Walcott was okay. He caused a lot of problems. He got some good moves, did well. You know, I thought he was not bad at all. Yeah. You know, sharp would be a better word. Yeah, maybe that. All got 100 goals. Walcott got 100 goals. I mean, 100 goals is some goal. Joe Linton has 100 chances. He's terrible. I'm not slandering anymore because it's wrong. You know, it's wrong for me to slander people. Trivia: which player made the most appearances under Wenger? No idea. Walcott's speed was second to none. Walcott was almost there. I think that's harsh. I think that's very harsh, people. Very, very harsh. Right, people, I'm going to cut it short by a few minutes. Hope everyone is good and having a great start to the week. I'm sure you're very, very happy with what's going on. Absolutely unbelievable. Over the weekend, PSG, Man City tomorrow. What a game. Clash of some of the best footballers on the planet. I hope Messi returns for this game. I can't wait to get over to PSG and see him. I hope Messi returns to this game. It's not going to be an easy game for PSG because Man City really, really will take their performance of the weekend into it. And if you've watched PSG so far, they're not great at the back. They're not great at the back at all. But going forward, they're magnificent. But you need foundations at the back for the lads up front for them to be doing their bit. So, yeah, great game tomorrow evening. We'll do a watch along and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. So thanks again for all the support. Up to 50, 60 in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your evening. As always, take care of yourself and your loved ones. And I will see you all tomorrow. I'm not sure whether we will do just a watch along tomorrow or we'll get in daily vibe and then do a watch along. We will see. But keep your notifications on and we will see you tomorrow. You take care.